In the soft twilight atmosphere of late 2025, when leaves fall and winter winds begin to envelop the Korean sky, Cha Eunwoo's name again becomes the center of public attention. This time it was not so much because of the drama, the stage performance, or the stunning advertising project, but because of an emotional letter and speech that shook the hearts of millions of his fans. In one of the exclusive recordings from the military camp, the star's soft but firm voice is heard, uttering the phrase that later went viral all over social media. "Mom, there are things I want to tell you. In the military, there are secrets I have to tell you." The sentence is simple, but it contains something deep, like a fragment of a feeling that he has been keeping deep in his heart. Eunwoo, known for her calmness and professional attitude in front of the camera, this time showed a completely different side. Fragile, honest, and human. The fans, who had been accustomed to seeing him as the perfect figure, were suddenly faced with the fact that behind his handsome face, there was a heart at war between duty and longing. According to exclusive reports from several military sources, Cha Eunwoo made the remarks during one of his private reflection sessions over the weekend, when soldiers were given time to write letters or talk via video call with their families. What sets Eunwoo apart, however, is that he's not just speaking to his mother. He's speaking from a heart that has been forged by heavy experience in the military world. He admitted to having a secret that could not be revealed, even to the media, managers, or friends of fellow ASTRO members. "Mom," she says in the recording, her voice trembling but still firm. "I know this may sound strange, but here I learned something about myself, about life, about loss, and about what is truly valuable. There's something I want to tell you, but it's not time for everyone to know. In this military, I discovered a secret that changed the way I looked at everything." The statement immediately caused a wave of speculation throughout the Korean entertainment world. Many wonder, what secret is meant? Is it related to his personal life, with other astronauts, or maybe with the spiritual experiences he experienced during his service? One source from Eunwoo's close family circle mentioned that over the past few months, her mother had often received letters that made her cry. Eunwoo writes in a very gentle but heartbreaking way, the source said. In each of his letters, he always asks how the family is doing and apologizes for not being able to always be a strong child. But there was one different letter. He said there was something he discovered in the military, something that made him see the world with new eyes. The statement made the fans even more curious. Eunwoo is not an easy person to open up to, especially about things that are personal. Since the beginning of his career, he has been known to be very private and rarely expresses deep emotions in public. But in the military, all that seems to be changing. In a harsh environment full of discipline and limitations, Cha Eunwoo learns to recognize his own human side. Some fellow soldiers even told how Eunwoo became a figure who often encouraged others secretly. One of the soldiers who once roomed with him said, "He's a very patient person." But once one night, she woke up, sat for a long time staring at the ceiling, then said quietly, "I don't know why, but I feel like I have to be honest with Mom about everything." I don't know what he meant, but from his face it looked like he was holding something heavy. The story further strengthened Eunwoo's new image in the public eye, not only as an idol or a handsome actor, but also as a human being who is struggling to understand the meaning of life in the midst of military pressure. The phrase, "I have a secret to tell you," became a symbol of his deepest side, the side that had been hidden behind perfection. A few weeks after his statement went viral, the agency finally went public. In an official statement, they said, "Cha Eunwoo is focusing on serving the rest of his military service well. Whatever he said was part of his personal reflection during his stint. We ask the public to respect his privacy and not to overinterpret the sentence." However, for fans who know his personality, the sentence is not just an ordinary reflection. There's something behind it. One of Eunwoo's longtime fans, who is also the manager of the largest fanbase community in Korea, wrote a long post on an online forum. "I don't think the secret in question is anything negative," he wrote. Eunwoo always had a gentle way of saying big things without making a scene. Perhaps the secret has to do with gratitude, a spiritual experience, or even about someone he misses. We know how deep his relationship with his mother is. Indeed, Cha Eunwoo and his mother's relationship has long been a public concern. In several interviews before his enlistment, Eunwoo often spoke fondly of his mother who raised him with discipline and love. She even said on one television show, "Mom is the reason I never give up." So when she says, "I have something to say," the public immediately associates it with something emotional between mother and child. A close family friend recounted that Eunwoo's mother burst into tears after receiving a call from her son. He just said, "My son sounds different." Her voice was full of gratitude, but there was also a restrained cry. After hanging up the phone, he just sat for a long time in the living room chair, holding a photo of little Eunwoo while saying quietly, "Whatever your secret is, son, I will accept it with love." This story adds an emotional layer to the grand narrative that now envelopes Cha Eunwoo's name. He was no longer just an artist serving in the military. He became a symbol of the boy who was learning to be a real man who found the courage to open his heart and speak honestly to those he loved most. Some analysts of Korean culture even rate this moment as a transformation of image. In an interview with local media, an entertainment expert said, "This is the maturity phase for Cha Eunwoo. The military is not only a place of physical training, but also a spiritual space." The phrase, "I have a secret to tell you," could be a metaphor for his own search, and it touched the hearts of many people. On the other hand, some international fans interpreted the statement in a spiritual vein. On global forums, many wrote that Eunwoo may have discovered a secret about a deeper life, a new kind of consciousness after living away from the glittering world. Maybe he realized that fame does not always bring true happiness, wrote a fan from the Philippines. Perhaps the secret is about peace, about the simple meaning of life behind all the hustle and bustle of the entertainment industry. Despite much speculation, what is certain is that the sentence marks the most human moment in Eunwoo's life journey. He was no longer just an idol on the screen. He became someone who dared to look into his own eyes in the mirror and admit that he also had wounds, doubts, and great love for his family. Sometime later, the military held a closed event at which the soldiers were allowed to write a final message before repatriation. Eunwoo, according to one of the staff, wrote a letter back that brought many to tears. "I came here as a celebrity, but I'm going home as a child who knows better the meaning of life. Mom, the secret I want to tell you is not something that should worry you. I just want you to know that I learned a lot about love and loss here. I learned that strength doesn't mean not crying, but walking even when your heart hurts." The letter, although not officially published, was leaked in small circles and immediately became the subject of heated discussion in the online community. Many were touched by the maturity and sincerity of his words. He seemed to close the distance between Cha Eunwoo the star and Lee Dongmin the child, two identities that had been separated by the glitter of the entertainment world. Interestingly, some military colleagues mentioned that before writing the letter, Eunwoo had sat alone on the edge of the field, staring at the stars. One of the soldiers said, "Every night I look at the stars and think about Mom. I want to say something, but I'm not ready." He then smiled a little and said, "Maybe later, after all this is over." The sentence becomes a kind of small mystery full of meaning. After all this is over could mean after the draft, or maybe something deeper, maybe the inner journey he is still on. But clearly, love and longing for his mother is at the heart of it all. Now, in the midst of his service that is almost over, the public is waiting for the moment where Eunwoo can finally speak directly about the secret he mentioned. However, many feel that perhaps the secret is not something to put into words. Perhaps it is a life lesson that can only be felt, not explained. When reporters asked one of the military officers about Eunwoo's attitude in the camp, he only replied briefly, "He is calm, polite, and humble. But I can tell you he's been brooding for a long time, like someone carrying a big load but still smiling."